Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 10th anniversary of the ETWG. The ETWG is the Education and Training Working Group, for those who don't know. And we've got a fantastic discussion that we're going to look forward to today, where we've got 3 people on our panel, the GIF chair, a professor, and the students as well. But before we begin, I'd like to hand over to Dr. Onju Jun, who will give her opening remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning. Thank you very much for joining us today. So I'd also like to extend my gratitude to all the participants who are joining from the online, from the many different countries. My name is Eunju Jeon, Chair of Education and Training Working Group of GIF, and it is truly an honor for hosting the 10th anniversary of the GIF. So first of all, I would like to thank you for our honorable GIF chair, Dr. Stephen Sarade. Thank you for accepting to presenting today, and also Professor Kim and Mr. Lee to participating in this event. So before start, I just wanted to give you a very simple question, because you can see there's a lot of GIF. So how do we pronounce this one? So GIF or GIF? It's very complicated, right? So actually, end of my remarks, I will show you very short clips for introducing our Education and Training Working Group. So at the first time, I made all the narration with GIF. But one of our members, Jill, he mentioned we should have to say it GIF rather than GIF. You know why? Is there anyone who knows why? Okay, so I'm going to show you this one. This is a very famous peanut butter. So the name GIF. So when we first announced our this kind of working group, so we do not want to complement this GIF and GIF. So we would like to decided to pronounce GIF to distinguish ourselves. So I think all the people who is sitting in this room will know that GIF will give. And that's you got from this room. And isn't it fascinating? So I think it is very values that we are meeting together, and that's the very importance of the knowledge transfer, knowledge management. And this is why Education and Training Working Group is important. And it is my great honor that as a chair of this very important working group, and it is very happy to have all of you here. And you may see there is a very beautiful lady standing in the back of this room. Actually, she's Yeonju. Actually, she's going to be a future Education and Training Working Group member, and she will be a very great asset to the GIF. Because you will see a very short clip, and she made this one with her mobile phone. So she is amazing. And also a special thanks to our King students from coming to this event, even though today is their festival day, but they come to these events to participate in these events. Thank you very much. I know because you are the... Actually, all of you, you came from the different country, but I know that you will be a nuclear leaders for the next generation. So I'm really thank you for coming today, and please enjoy our clip, and please enjoy today's webinar. Thank you very much.
Generation IV International Forum, GIF, was founded in 2001 to advance the future of nuclear energy. In November 2015, the Education and Training Task Force was launched. By November 2019, it became a co-working group, the ETWG. ETWG provides a platform for education and training on advanced reactors and fuel cycles, linking researchers, institutions, and experts across the world. Since 2016, ETWG has hosted monthly webinars, more than 100 sessions, reaching audiences over 80 countries. The themes are broad: reactor design, fuel cycles, policy, training, and knowledge preservation. ETWG also supports summer schools and global collaboration. Since 2021, ETWG has organized the Pitch Your Generation for Research competition, giving young researchers the chance to present their work to an international community. ETWG recognizes that the next generation of professionals is essential. Education, training, and knowledge transfer are central to securing the future of nuclear innovation. ETWG invites you to follow our webinars, join our initiatives, and take part in shaping the future of Gen 4 systems. Let's build it together.
Thank you, Anju. And for our first speaker, I'd like to introduce the GIF chair, Dr. Stefan Sarad, who's the director of the Energy Programs Division, which is a strategic division of the Energy Division within CEA. And he's dedicated his career to low-carbon energy R&D programs. And I won't give away too much. I'll let him come and introduce himself. And just a reminder at home, for those at home and those in the room, this webinar will be recorded, so we can all review it.
Thank you, Nawaf. Thank you, my friend. So, where is my... and this one. So, welcome, everybody. I'm very, very happy and also very proud to make this presentation because it's a very nice celebration. And talking after a nice video is very complicated, but I will do my best. I will do my best to express that education and training is a success story, always going forward. And I have to mention that it's also a priority of the leadership team to go further in this direction. So, education and training, one of the GIF policy priority, because we are pretty convinced that education and training is really the future of GIF, and we are building together the future. We started with a task force, and now we have a working group that has delivered more than 100 webinars. I think that only few people are aware of that, and we have to mention and we have to communicate about the incredible amount of webinars that were provided. We started in 2015 from the US initiative and the very nice support of John Kelly, who was GIF chair at this moment. And the idea emerged amongst GIF members to have an education and training task force. The following year, 2016, the policy group approved the task force terms of reference, and then John Kelly is making a very first GIF seminar this year, and in 2019, the task force became a working group. In 2022, we decided to have a vice chair dedicated to education and training, and the activities of this vice chair is to provide leadership, updates and progress, engage with the GIF Policy Secretariat to develop and engage a strategic roadmap approved by the GIF Policy Secretariat and the GIF Policy Group. And I'm very happy that our colleagues, Dr. Jin-Young Cho, is now in charge of that, and he did with his team an incredible job, especially for this meeting. So, during the 10 past years, we have a brief history. Between 2015 and 2025, the first attempts were transformed in an impressive number of webinars. I mentioned that previously. Even during the COVID situation, many organizations use the webinar mode. And in fact, we discovered that GIF was a precursor in this field, but we did not change our way to make our webinars because it becomes a part of the Education and Training Working Group, trademark, with very few similarities worldwide. In fact, now it's integrated in the DNA of GIF. In November 2025, we have the webinar and ET series 106, and in October 2025, we had GIF Talks with Industry series number 6, showing that we are enlarging the audience of our communication. So, in fact, we have a significant list of regular and efficient transmission of knowledge all over the world. and around 7 full days of pure GIF knowledge transmission. It means that we have a significant material to make AI tests and innovate, and we are able to innovate again. So, if we continue in this field, the idea is to have a young generation on board. And in 2021, we had the first speech on Gen 4 competition, followed in 2023 and 2025. And you've got on this slide the picture of the winners. And that's very important because when you are a scientist, it's very important to be able to pitch on your research, especially on Gen 4. So we encourage young researchers, young scientists to join a new network, which is a GIF community. So from a policy point of view, education and training is very important. This history, the actions that I mentioned, and these grow, demonstrate the very significant commitment of GIF within education and training. And then, to ensure open access to high-quality educational content, we have crucial activities to disseminate knowledge, build capacity, and foster transparency. So the monthly webinar series are there for to support this point. We also have to encourage early career engagement and creating platforms to showcase talents that helps with the capacity development, attracting new scientists, and reinforce the pipeline of expertise. That's what we are doing when we ask the young scientists to pitch on during Gen 4 competition. And then we have to support inter-institution collaboration, and that's a key for harmonization of curricula, avoidance of redundancy, and pooling of resources for training and research. So the working groups and virtual meetings are there to support those collaborations. If I continue in the policy point of view, with the formalization of standards or guidelines that's necessary for knowledge management, for interoperability, and to ensure retention of critical expertise, and because it's important for long-term sustainability. And the Education and Training Working Group identifies and promotes best practices in knowledge management and knowledge preservation, and we already have discussions on this field. We also there to encourage novel education technology. That's innovation, e-learning, virtual laboratories, and organizing webinars and new method of training show that ETWG was really at the beginning of the deployment of those tools. And it's very necessary to continue to use virtual labs to supplement hands-on experience. And we also have to ensure training, and that means that we include regulatory, safety, and standard perspective in our presentation, because it's essential to ensure that technical personnel understand and share the policy, the compliance, and the licensing issues. So the series includes webinars focused on regulatory activities for SMRs, for instance, and advanced reactor system, for safety design guidelines, and also for severe accident prevention or mitigation. So, education and training. And now it's time to celebrate. To celebrate because we have wonderful results on this activity. It's also time to continue. We are full speed in this field, and it's also time to innovate. Celebrate, we are in Busan, and Busan is a milestone for great education and training working group celebration. ETWG deserve a nice celebration for their significant contribution to GIF. To continue, your involvement, your commitment, your enthusiasm is inspiring beyond the GIF community. I will say just continue as you are. And we have also to continue to innovate. Of course, we propose, we not impose, because innovation can come directly from people. But we have few fields that we have the feeling that we have things to do. For instance, AI. can make an efficient increase in value of the whole education and training working group GIF video database. We have to think about an additional competition celebrating the lab team effort beyond the young researcher in order to enlarge the community of people involved in that field. And we think that it's important to celebrate technicians and operators who are making essential work in the shadow of the GIF researcher, and perhaps we have to think together how to put them in a nice vision and in recognition of the job they made every day for us. So that was very important for me to finish with the roadmap and the priorities that we are already identified. So by the end of this year, we upgrade the existing learning content for one system. That's very interesting. At the end of 2026, we want to establish connection with young generation networks in GIF member countries and to upgrade the existing learning content for another additional system. The GIF session will be presented during the IYNC conference, and by the end of 2027, we intend to increase by 30% the participants in webinars to involve 10 new participating countries and to upgrade the existing learning content for all the GIF system. That's our roadmap and our priority, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will be concerned and engaged in this field. Thank you very much for your commitment, and thank you very much for working together on the Gen 4 activities. Thank you.
And for our next speaker, I'd like to introduce Professor Kim, who's a professor of nuclear engineering department at Seoul National University, with over 25 years' experience in nuclear systems, thermal hydraulics, and safety. He specialized in advanced nuclear system development, multi-physics simulation, and nuclear emergency response.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sung-Soo Kim, and I'm from Seoul National University. And today I'm very pleased to introduce our new education program on behalf of my colleagues. So first of all, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. So today my presentation title is Innovation and Convergence Education Center for Advanced High Temperature Nuclear Systems. So as you can imagine, this education program focuses on the high temperature reactors. So I divided my talk into two parts. So first, I would like to give you a brief introduction to our education program, and then I would like to show you what kind of activities we are currently doing and also planning in the future. So this is the background. Today, nuclear power, So today, nuclear power is gaining new attentions around the world because of the increase of climate change and demand for energy security. So at the same time, we can see a very strong competition in the development of innovative nuclear reactors. So for example, more than 80 SMR designs under development in 17 countries. I think this is a huge number. However, while the technologies are growing very fast, the nuclear workforce doesn't seem to follow that well. For example, in South Korea, the student enrollment in nuclear engineering has been dropped by 20% compared to the maximum. And at the same time, the industry expects to need up to 3,000 new professionals in the near future. So there is a big gap between the supply and demand in the human resource development, especially in the advanced nuclear reactor in our country. So that's why I think the Korean government started to think about the new initiative for human resource development, especially in the advanced nuclear reactors. So in this regards, our education program has been launched in the middle of last year by support of Ministry of Science and ICT in South Korea. So this is a 5-year project between 2024 and 2028, and its total budget is about $4.6 million US. So leading institution is Seoul National University, and we are closely working with Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology and Busan National University and some other industry and national institute. And the scope of this education program is the high temperature reactors which can provide heat above 600 degrees C, which is very good for hydrogen production and the industrial applications. And the mission is very clear. It is to cultivate experts for next generation nuclear systems, delivering heat over 600 degrees C, and also to foster multidisciplinary talents to address real-world challenges. So we have 4 objectives here. So first one is related to the curriculum development. So we are trying to develop the standardized curriculum for the high-temperature reactors. And the second one is related to the industry academia network. So we are trying to achieve this through a couple of education programs. And the third one is to engage students more in the real-world applications through a couple of things. And the last one is to establish a digital platform to share our outcomes. So this education program focuses on 2 main reactor types, the high-temperature gas-cooled reactor and the heat pipe reactors. But of course, they are 2 different designs, but I think they share many core technologies. So they have very high efficiency and high safety and also high technological readiness. But above all, this type of reactors are very well demonstrated in many countries, China, Japan, and the United States. But one of the most important things is this type of reactor can be utilized for various applications, not only power conversion, but also the chemical process and also hydrogen production. So I think these kind of features make this system very attractive for education and also the research perspectives. So what are the key players of this education program? And there are 3 universities are heavily involved here. So Seoul National University is leading the whole education program, and we are in charge of curriculum development. And Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology is leading the research R&D program and also the system designs. And also Busan National University is leading industry academy collaborations. So there are some details listed in this slide below, but I will not go into the details here. So of course, these education programs are supported by many research and industry partners. So from industry side, the POSCO, ENC, Hyundai, and Doosan Mobilities are supporting this education program. And also from research and regulation side, the Korea Advanced Research, Atomic Energy Research Institute, and also Korea Institute of Nuclear Safety, which is a nuclear regulatory body in South Korea, are supporting our education program very strongly. So this slide shows how our education program is organized in the whole country, and we are very closely working together to make this education program successful. So from this slide, I would like to introduce what kind of activities that we are currently doing in our education program and also planning in the future. Oh, yeah. Okay, the curriculum development. Our education center is trying to develop a standardized curriculum for high temperature nuclear systems. So our curriculum covers the whole range of high temperature nuclear systems, safety, reactor physics, fuel materials, fuel cycle, thermal hydraulics, and so on. And also we are trying to incorporate interdisciplinary courses and also applications as well. So in this regards, we have developed more than 10 revised and new courses in the last year. So totally 10 courses were offered in 3 different universities, and 224 students took those courses. So by institution, Seoul National University offered 5 courses and 143 students took the courses. And also KAIST 4 courses and 47 students, and also Busan National University 1 course and 34 students. So in this curriculum, we try to incorporate not only the classroom lectures, but also hands-on training, and also we are trying to develop standardized the lecture note and lecture slide to share among our participating universities and also the research and industry partners. In our education program, one of the key program is the Energy System Integrated Design course, which was newly developed and implemented in this year. So in this program, in this course, the teams of 4 to 6 students select reactor type and conduct conceptual design and present results throughout the course. And each week, the professor gives 1 to 2 hour lecture. Afterward, students spend another 1 to 2 hours on their project work. So one important thing is every week we invite experts from industry and also research institute to help a student doing their project work and to improve their researches. In this course, the students are following the 5 steps systematically. So in the first step, the students think about the requirement, and in the second step, they select reactor types and system layouts. In the third step, they are doing some conceptual design, not only in the system level, but also in the component level. In fourth step, they conduct some engineering calculations, such as the safety analysis and things like that. And in fifth step, they modify the design and provide the final result. And this is how our integrated course is organized in this program. So this integrated course and integrated design course try to incorporate not only the classroom lectures, but also group discussion, team project, presentation, and mentoring together. And according to the students' feedback, we found that this course was very unique and valuable experience for the students. And also one of the projects that we are doing in our education program is the textbook development. So in this program, the 8-volume textbook series is planned and underwriting, and also 2 of them will be published by the end of this year. And the first textbook is about the high-temperature gas-cooled reactor, and this series covers from the introduction to HTGR to applications. But an important thing is the many retired experts are involved in this project. So to preserve their knowledge and experience, and also to transfer them to our next generation, we are strongly support this kind of activities in our education program. And also to give students more international exposure, we are organizing colloquial and invited expert seminar. So far, more than 10 sessions have been held over the year with the experts from 4 different countries, the US, Japan, China, and Korea. And these kind of sessions gave a chance to give students to meet global experts and to learn their experience and knowledges. And also another project is the publication of technology trend report. So each quarter we publish the technology trend report, and so far we have published 4 of them. So the topics include HTGR overall, and the hydrogen production, and heat pipe reactors, and thermal energy storage, and so on. And this type of report helps students, professors, researchers, and company engineers keep up with the new advancement of the technologies and also state-of-the-art technologies in the high-temperature reactor systems. And also one of the important activities that is ongoing in our education program is the hackathon project. So this hackathon project was planned to strengthen academia and industry collaboration. So there are 3 main goals. The first is to discover creative and innovative ideas and technical solutions. And second is to strengthen collaboration between industry and academia expert. And the third is to improve public awareness in the next generation nuclear reactors. The first hackathon project was held in Busan here in the last summer, and more than 100 students participated in this event, and it was very successful. So you can see the picture in the slide. So in this 2 years event, 8 university teams joined and explored business models, public acceptance, and hydrogen production system for high temperature reactors. And among them, 3 of them received award for their excellent ideas. And of course, this event will be continued every year. And also, at the same time, a student session was held together where 27 students presented their research outcomes. So in this event, the students shared ideas and learned from each other, and also practiced communication skills. So as I mentioned, the more than 100 students participated in this event, and we had a very great time to collaborate each other. And also academia, industry, and research collaboration. And in our education center, we are trying to support various joint research programs. So this slide shows 2 of them. One is the feasibility study on supercritical CO2 cycle integration with HTGR, which was conducted by Korea Atomic Energy, Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology and Hyundai. And the other one is simulation on TRISO fuel coating process, which was developed, conducted by SNU and Kerry. Of course, the number of research topics is still very limited because we have just started this education program last year. But we expect much more number of research topics will be identified and actively studied in the coming years. And also, in the beginning of this year, the academia, industry, and research joint workshop was held at Seoul National University, and more than 130 experts from academia, industry, and research institute participated in this event. So actually, it was a very big event, and as far as I know, this is the first this size event in the field of high temperature reactor in South Korea. So it was a very good chance for everybody to learn from each other and strengthen their networking and collaboration things. And also another activity is the development of a digital platform. So the main goal is to widely share the center's educational and research outputs and contents through diverse digital channels. So first, we try to establish a digital hub, which is like a website and database. And then we are trying to link them with the social media networks. And then throughout that, we are trying to promote our education and research activities. And also at the same time, we are trying to disseminate academic resources that we have developed in this education program. So I would like to wrap up my presentation by summarizing my talk very briefly. So the Innovation and Convergence Education Center for Advanced High Temperature Nuclear System has been established in 2024 in South Korea to cultivate future experts who will lead next generation nuclear innovation. And also the center aims to integrate education, research, and industry collaboration to connect classroom with real-world applications. And also the multidisciplinary curriculum and hands-on training were designed to foster creativity and problem-solving skills to students. And also joint research and hackathon program were designed to strengthen connection among academia, research, and industries. And also digital platform is under development to expand our access to educational and research outcomes. So as my final remark, we truly believe that the Education Center will become a national hub to bridges the innovation and deployment and also classroom and field by empowering the next generation of nuclear leaders in our country. And also to achieve this goal, of course, we need a lot of help, not only from inside, but also from the outside, from industry research institute, and also from the international organization like GIF. So this is the end of my presentation, and thank you for your listening, and once again, thank you for this opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kim. And for our next speaker, I'd like to introduce Mr. Lee, who's a researcher at KAIST, and he'll be talking about some of the projects that he's working on.
Oh, hello. Thank you for giving me the opportunity of presenting this at the meeting. The title is Neutronic Feasibility Study of Break-Even Molten Salt Fast Reactor using chloride salt. My name is Eun-hyuk Lee, and I am a PhD student in the Department of Nuclear and Quantum Engineering at KAIST. My research focuses on reactor physics with a particular emphasis on molten salt reactors and on advanced reactor type known for its potential in enhanced safety and long-term sustainability. At KAIST, I'm engaged in developing advanced modeling and simulation tools for MSR systems, contributing to the design and analysis for next generation nuclear reactors. I've come to introduce the potential of the molten salt fast reactor as one of the participants of each year Gen 4 competition. Today, I'd like to talk about the three major challenges in nuclear energy, often referred to as a nuclear trilemma: enhancing the safety and preventing accumulation of spent fuel and securing uranium resources. They can be addressed by adopting the concept of MSFR and reutilizing the spent fuel. In nuclear advanced countries such as Korea and the US, the accumulated spent fuels represent a substantial energy potential. In Korea, there is an amount of spent fuel equivalent to enough electricity to power the entire country for over 3,000 years, so does the US. To address the trilemma and use this energy potential, break-even molten salt fast reactor concept, so-called BMFR, has been proposed, and this concept is basically molten salt fast reactor concept. The concept is to pursue enhanced safety with the design features including passive safety, convenient heat decay heat removal, and atmospheric pressure operation condition. And BMFR has been designed to reutilize the spent fuel as an energy resource. In requiring uranium and TRU from spent fuel at the startup and during operation, spent fuel is consistently consumed as makeup fuel. As another powerful property, it pursues unlimited lifetime in terms of neutronics. In other words, it can permanently maintain criticality by fission product removal and makeup fuel supply. To put it simply, BMFR pursues addressing nuclear trilemma through adopting MSFR concept and reutilizing spent fuel pursuing eternality. Let me walk you through the simplified fuel cycle of the BMFR. During startup, we remove uranium. During startup, we remove uranium from spent fuel using basic pyroprocessing, which concentrate dense uranic and rare earth to create initial fuel. To maintain proliferation resistance, we limit TRU handling to less than 20%. Importantly, this process only occurs during initialization and is not repeated during operation. Within the core, uranium-238 undergoes conversion to plutonium-239, which then generates energy and produces fission products. To maintain critical operation, we need makeup fuel supply and fission product removal. This makeup fuel is also come from spent fuel, but uses metallization and chlorination without pyroprocessing, which enhances our proliferation resistance. Let me look through the spent fuel composition. The spent fuel composition has come from the depletion calculation of APR 1400 lattice by this Monte Carlo program. The burn-up is about 50,000 megaton per metric ton of uranium, and cooling period is 10 years. Spent fuel includes uranium, TRU, and fission product, and some of fission products can be classified in rare earth. For low spent fuel, uranium fraction is only about 93%, and fission products are about 5%, but this cannot be used as it is. If it goes through the process of reduction and chlorination, non-rare earth fission products are removed, and uranium fraction increases to 97%. This is used as maker fuel. And for the startup of reactor, uranium is removed via pyroprocessing, but the pyroprocessing is proliferation resistance processing. That means the percentage of TRU in the product is not exceeding 20%. And let me briefly introduce one model of BMR that has been proposed. The operating power is about 3,000 megaton, and the active core is cylindrical geometry. Let me briefly introduce one model of a BMR that has been proposed. The operating power is 3,000 megaton, and the active core is cylindrical geometry, and its diameter and height are the same, and 3.3 meters. The reflector is stainless steel of 50 centimeters, and drum-type reactive control devices are in it. An inactive salt is placed around reflector, and molten salt fuel circulates between active core and inactive region. And operation temperature is assumed as 650 degrees Celsius. The molten salt fuel is based chlorine has been selected. Okay. And ternary eutectic data of KCl, UCl3, PuCl3 has been referred to compose the initial fuel. Eutectic composition of KCl, UCl3, PuCl3 is written in this picture, and melting temperature is about 500 degrees Celsius. Referring the data, initial composition of initial fuel has been determined. Composition of KCl has been fixed as 49%. It's the same as the eutectic data. The composition of TiO3, UCl3, and rare earth Cl3 could be changed to make initial criticality for proposed reactor earlier. Therefore, final composition of KCl, UCl3, TiO3, and rare earth Cl3 has come to this composition. And other parameters can be found in this table. Discussing one of them, some of them, total fuel salt volume is about 43 cubic meters, and Cl37 has been enriched to about 99 atomic percent. And initial mass of uranium, transuranic, and rare earths are about 61, 15, and 9 tons respectively. In the operation strategy has to set for the normal operation. Operation strategy includes feeding makeup fuel and removing fission products. Fission products are classified into three according to behavior in the molten salt, and they removed as respectively minimal rate. And for the soluble fission product, removal can be expressed as the function of the operation time. And makeup fuel feeding and other processes including hydrogen removal and rare earth feeding and K and Cl feeding can be found in this right? And depletion calculation has been done to show the validity of the operation. This shows the reactivity, effective delayed neutron fraction, and as it will be referred to as to beta, and conversion ratio versus 3 gigawatt full power operation time. It can be noted that beta indicates the safe reactivity range to avoid prompt criticality. The reactivity converges between 2 to 300 PCM, and the criticality can be maintained by feeding makeup fuel and fission product removal. And this shows the reactor can achieve operation with unlimited lifetime. The conversion ratio maintains 1/1 on indicating fuel conversion. Uranium-238 to plutonium-239 is actively made. And the excess reactivity maintained below beta value. That means the system can avoid prompt criticality for most of the period. And this figure shows masses of materials, mass balance of materials of uranium-238, plutonium-239, noble metal, and soluble fission product. Noble metal means insoluble fission product at molten salt. These materials evolution show the convergence of the reactors and approach to the equilibrium and performance of the system, permanence of the system. Although uranium-238 and soluble fission products show slow convergence, their convergence has been empirically validated in studies outside this evaluation. This slide shows these two tables, result of control drum walls and result of temperature coefficient. The control drum walls in the upper table shows sufficient performance of the control devices, and result of temperature coefficient as a negative feedback in the row table shows the validity of the reactor in terms of inherent safety. And this result shows the reactivity and effective delayed neutron fraction of the system is reduced by about 200 PCM if the molten salt flows. The results show why the system requires minimal reactivity of about 200 PCM. As a conclusion, long-term operation, actually close to the permanent operation, could be demonstrated, and strong proliferation resistance through minimal pyroprocessing could be ensured, and ultimately, by utilizing spent fuel exclusively, it has the potential to provide clean energy for centuries in nuclear advanced countries such as the United States or Korea. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. And thank you, a big thank you to our speakers. Please bear with us whilst we set up the stage for the panel discussion. In the meantime, please do scan your QR codes and those online as well. Do put in your questions into Padlet, and we'll be able to ask the panelists once we're up on the stage. Thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. And to begin, I'd like to begin, before we go to Padlet and open the discussion to the room, I'd like to begin by exploring a topic that's close to my heart and close to the hearts of those in the room, I know for sure. We've had this discussion multiple times now within GIF about how do we attract the younger generation into the nuclear field. And my first question I'd like to ask to Mr. Lee, what is it that drew you to the nuclear field?
I'm developing new reactors, including molten-salt reactor as a Gen 4 reactor to pursue the advanced reactor for future reactor to address the nuclear trilemma as I discussed in the presentation.
Thank you. And my next question is to the chair, and I'd like to explore with you a little bit, Stefan, along the same lines about what's your thoughts about how important it is to bring the younger generation into meetings like this. We've got about 20 students in the room, which is really good and something that we've not done before. And also just yesterday, in the roundtable discussion that was hosted by Dr. Paul Nevitt, we talked about how there's an aging workforce and the importance of bringing younger people into these conversations. So I'd just like to pick your brains a little bit and what your thoughts are on that.
Yes, in fact, young generation is the future. That's, for me, the main priority. And of course, it's important that through the webinars, education and training, through all the events, we are able to create and to enlarge the community. It's very simple. I would like to make what I should like to have when I was a young scientist or a young student. And I think it's for me a very good driver. What did I miss when I was a young scientist? I miss the opportunities to have links, to have connection, to have networks, and therefore to have a better vision of what should be my future work, my future field of research and deployment. And you're fully right now. Yesterday we thought that human resources is not a vision that we can have. It's also a necessity. And the shortage of human resource in the field of nuclear activities is a reality. And therefore we have to do our best to enlarge and to promote those activities through the young generation.
Thank you, Chair. And this segues on very nicely to my next question for Professor Kim. So I guess this begins with education and with students. How has the uptake been of nuclear courses within your university? I know you presented some numbers, but can you talk about how that's changed over the past few years?
You're talking about the number of students enrollment in nuclear engineering for the last couple of years. I actually don't remember the exact numbers, but according to the statistics, as I mentioned, for the last couple of years, actually, in Korea, the student enrollment is highly affected by the political situation. So for the last couple of years, the student enrollment has been dropped about 20% in maximum compared to the highest numbers. But it is actually fluctuating every year. But the most important thing is the consistent policy, in my sense. So actually, in terms of university, we need a very strong support from the government and research institute, and also the industry for attracting good students to the university. So actually, in the government side, they have to provide a consistent and continuous positive messages for the nuclear engineering and also research side. They have to make very attractive technologies continuously, and also in the industry, I think they have to make very good business cases for the students to think these technologies are really realized in the future. And also international organization, of course, they have a lot of work they have to do together. So Actually, in Korea, actually the number is very fluctuating. So we hope, the policy is much more stable, regardless of the political stance or things like that.
Thank you, Professor Kim. And I'd like to open the questions now to the room for anyone in person who would like to ask the questions. And I implore the students as well to raise your hands, and we'll pass you a mic so you can ask questions also. Okay, there's no questions in the room, so we can go to Padlets for a little bit, and you guys can think about your questions over here. So this question is open to everybody in the panel. Looking back at the ETWG's activities over the past decade, what direction do you think it should take in the next 10 years?
This question is for me. Actually, I just take this role as a chair from year 2025 to 27, so I cannot say it for the 10 years goals. But I think the very important thing is that we should have to invite more young generation to participate our working group. So I think the most important thing is we should have to go and we should have to meet you where they are, because sometimes the students have no information, that kind of webinar and this kind of meeting. So if you have many chances to have this kind of opportunity, it would be much easier that you can make your career, you can make your mentors. There's a lot of mentors here. So I think that would be really important. So I would like to expand this kind of opportunity inside of our working group. And also I would like to say in your words, because sometimes I feel like it is very different, the words, our generation and next generation. Sometimes, and actually I think there is one question from the Padlet, but I know that we have a webinar, sometimes 1 hour or 2 hours, but these days the young generation does not want to see that kind of long, kind of webinars. They prefer the TikToks, or they prefer the 2 minutes or 3 minutes, short forms. So I would like to make that kind of challenges and the kind of trends to adjust to our working group. That is my short-term goal.
Thank you, Anju. And there's another question for you here as well, where it says, are there any plans to develop educational programs or outreach initiatives for the general public or non-nuclear professionals?
Actually, sometimes it's very hard to do that kind of, to make a new one, because we don't have much budget. But I think digital engagement is a very easy way to expand that kind of thing. So I will try to make, as I mentioned before, for the non-nuclear major person. So I would like to make it that kind of very easy and very comfortable, that kind of short forms. I would like to make that kind of way.
Thank you, Anju. And I have a question for Professor Kim here from Padlet. So what motivated you to enter the nuclear field? And more specifically, what drew you to work on nuclear technologies?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So what motivated you to enter the nuclear field?
I don't know, it's a very long time ago. But actually, I have very good friends in the nuclear field when I entered the college. So I just followed him. But actually, I entered the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, but there is a free to choose the majors. So I first entered the nuclear engineering, and I realized that it is very interesting topics, and there are a lot of chance to improve the human resources, especially in the field of energy production and things like that. Of course, the energy is the most important part in a sustainable society in the world. So that actually attracted me to the nuclear engineering. Also, my research area is in nuclear safety. So as you know, the safety is the most important part in the nuclear engineering. So that's why I started to study this field.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to ask the same question to Stefan as well, our GIF chair. What drew you to the nuclear field?
By accident. By accident, because I'm a chemical engineer. In biotechnology, food science, chemistry, And fortunately, I applied for a PhD position in CEA. And more surprising, I was accepted in this position. And my grandmother phoned to me saying, "Oh, Stefan, you're already going to work in a nuclear center? Are you crazy about that?" So, in fact, I discovered nuclear energy during my PhD, which was not directly connected to nuclear, but I learned a lot from my colleagues, from the technicians, from the engineers, and therefore I decided to stay within CEA, and progressively I entered in the various fields of nuclear energy. First, chemistry, it means nuclear waste, decontamination, dismantling, and then more and more to apply to nuclear power plant and so on. So you can arrive in the nuclear field by accident, I can certify.
Me too. Moving on to kind of Gen 4 reactors now and deployment. There's a question here which I know will be a tricky one to answer, so I'm going to give it to Stefan. What is the estimated time for Gen 4 reactors to be in the market based on the current trend?
So that's the $1 million question. I hope it's not recorded. But unfortunately, it's recorded, so I have to take care about my answer. I think that the first generation, it depends what you intend in terms of deployment. Small reactor, advanced modular reactor, large nuclear power plant. I think the first generation reactor, AMR, they are expected at the end of the next decade. I think that's a more reasonable vision that we can have all over the world for the deployment. And it's not a diplomatic answer for myself. It's, I think it's a more realistic answer I can make nowadays.
Thank you, Stefan. Before I go back to Padlet, I'll ask the room again. Are there any questions from anyone in the room? There's a question over there. Yes, please.
So my name is Hyunjin Kim, so the ETWG Korean member. So I ask question to Kaiser student, is right?
Me.
Yeah. So your name is the
Eunhyuk Ri.
Eunhyuk Ri, is right. I heard that you applied to the PhD competitions, right?
Yes.
Yes. So what is the attraction factor to apply it? What is the reluctant factor to apply? Second question. Final question is what is your suggestion to the PhD competition in TWG? My question is 3, is right?
Can I repeat the 3 questions?
Attraction factor.
Attraction factor?
Yeah.
Yes.
To apply PhD competition. First question.
Yes.
Yeah.
The attraction factor is the PhD competition was to actually my motivation is to give you the my finding or potential the fast reactor and potential of the my work. So I thought that it is the opportunity to inform my finding. And what is the next question?
Next question is that I will explain in the background. So I heard many PhD students apply it to their PhD competition. So another students didn't apply it. That they don't dislike to apply to this competition. I'm wondering why the other students didn't apply it to the PhD competition. That is reluctant factors, right? So yeah.
Reluctant.
Yeah, it's just simple, is right. In your mind, I want to know.
I think the other students just of lack of information.
Yeah. It's good question. Good answer. Yeah. My final question is the third question is I want to understand your suggestion in the future PhD competition of ETWG. Right.
Increasing the winner of the current winners of pitch competition is just 3.
Yes, number of the winners, right? Thank you very much. Yeah.
Increasing the winner will enhance the motivation of participation of other students.
Thank you very much for your explanation. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to build on that final question, for the winner of the Picture Gen 4 competition, we do intend to bring them to one of these GIF meetings where they can participate, and it's an expenses paid opportunity for them, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, thank you. And I have a question here for Professor Kim. So there's a question that's been asked, and it's, what is the benefit Korea nuclear industry see in attracting young foreign nuclear talents, and how is Korea going to attract them?
I think I already talked about this before, but as I mentioned, it's very difficult question. So actually, if you look at the nuclear industry, previously most of the jobs are in the research institute and also in the governmental institute and things like that. But these days, the commercial companies are very interested in the nuclear engineering in South Korea. So actually, a lot of job opportunities are in the commercial companies still in Korea, and also we can see a lot of startups, not only in South Korea but also in the world. So I think that kind of thing actually attracts students to be more interested in the nuclear industry, I think. But I think I'm too old to answer the question.
Thank you. Let me go back to the room before I go back to Padlet. Is there any more questions that want to be asked? Paul.
So, if we pretended that you had unlimited budget and control, what would you do to improve attraction, to attract more young talent? And 2, what would you do to accelerate or speed to time to qualification or time to expert? I think the 2 challenges we have is attraction and then training to get. So you're king or queen for the day, you have unlimited budget, what would you do to attract the talent?
Yeah, of course.
I will start, Paul, because when you are dealing with unlimited budget, I have a lot of ideas. But seriously, the first one, if I have an unlimited budget, next year, I will organize a summer school of 2 weeks, inviting quite large amount, not that big, but large amount of students, or PhD students, young engineers, to attend a summer school about Gen 4 reactors and systems, inviting experts for every domains, and in a quite fancy place, with sun, with swimming pool, with happy hours. In 2 or 3 weeks, we can either create a community with people that will become friends perhaps for life, and then we could stimulate the vision and the contribution that we can have, and to give the young generation the sense of that they could work in a field where they can make things change. sorry, but I don't believe that climate change is a scam. So I think that for the young generation, if they could work and if they have the opportunity to work in a field where they could change things, I think it's positive. So it's my first, I have plenty of other ideas, Paul, but this one can be operational next summer.
Thank you. Professor Kim, the same question to you. If you were king or queen and had unlimited money, what would you do?
Yeah, if I have unlimited money, if the young generation get paid twice of now on, and probably more young people will come to nuclear engineering, but basically it's not possible. So otherwise, I think the most important thing is to show vision continuously, but not just from words, but from the reality. So we have to make a real product and let them see if this kind of technology really can make good business in the future, and that kind of things I think can bring students here. So supporting such kind of activities I think will be very good for attracting students. Yeah.
Thank you. And a lot of the questions that we have on Padlet kind of follow a similar trend about how do we attract younger students, and what can we do to reach out to them in different ways. I'd like to ask Anju a question, if that's okay, about the ETWG and about the next Pitch Your Gen 4 competition, and about dates when things will open so people can have an idea of when they can start to apply.
Actually, the pitch competition is the biennium. So this year and the next year, we will open next summer, and then we will have some kind of first screening, and second is we will have some kind of jury competition, and then we will invite the videos. So it may take about more than 6 months to 8 months. So we will start next year summer, and please follow the LinkedIn of the GIF account, and then we will keep updates, the schedules, and then please follow our LinkedIn, then you will find the schedule.
Thank you, Anju. And I want to kind of finish on the topic of deployment and stay there, because like Stefan said, that is the million-dollar question. And my question for Professor Kim is, your courses that you provide at your university, how are they aligned with the needs of industry? Sorry, the courses that you provide at your university, how are they governed by what industry needs? By the needs of industry.
Needs of industry, actually. We have some plans for that because, as I mentioned, a lot of commercial companies are just started nuclear engineering these days. They didn't do any business before. So their major is not based on the nuclear engineering. So their general demand is they need to understand the basics of nuclear engineering from the university and things like that. So, but at this moment, we are making courses for letting them to involve in our mentoring program and things like that. But afterward, we have some plan to provide some lectures for the nuclear engineering, also to provide some training courses for them to be more used to the nuclear engineering and things like that. And that's some of the major demand from the Korean industry this time. So
thank you, Professor Kim. And there's a question at the back there. Somebody with their hand up.
So right now you probably can hear me quite nice. So there is a lot of talk about that. A lot of private companies are interested in investing in nuclear industry, and we are talking about some ways to get the foreign talents to Korea, but not only. But there is an issue. So as far as I know. Especially in company, this can so integrating foreign talents in Korean company can be sometimes a little bit tough. I personally know some people working in foreign people working in Korean companies. When the language barrier is kind of big. So what Korean industry is doing to actually make this barrier less of an issue to attract more of these foreign talents? Is there like any particular strategy or? Yep.
I should have to answer this question, but I know that I'm not appropriate because I'm not from the industry. But as far as I know, because CARI, so I'm working at CARI. So CARI is a national lab, and we are not hiring the regular staff for the foreign talents, but we can work together. So there's a lot of project and there's a lot of way to work with us. And also in case of the industry, as you mentioned, that language is one of the barrier, but these days there's a lot of, apps and the translator apps, so maybe it will be better. And then actually there's a lot of Korean who is working, who retired their industry, they are working in the outside of the country, and also we are hiring some of the very excellent foreigners to their industry. So I think it would be better when the technology develops. That's what I can answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Anju, and thank you for the question. Before we wrap up, anything else? Any more? We have a question from Sylvia.
Thank you, Mr. Saleh. You asked our guests how they came to the nuclear industry or nuclear field. May I ask the same question from you?
Similar to Stefan, it was a bit of an accident. So I'm glad you asked this question because being an engineer, you don't have to be a nuclear engineer to end up in the nuclear field. I started off as a chemical engineer, which is my background, and I actually started working in a software engineering place for a couple of years before ending up in the nuclear industry. So the journey isn't a straight line. You go and study nuclear engineering to become a nuclear engineer, and you end up in nuclear industry. It could be, you can end up in the nuclear industry in many ways. So yes, it was an accident, and thank you for asking that question, Sylvia.
If I may add something, Sylvia, I explain, because we have a common point with now, we are all chemical engineer, and showing that chemical engineer can lead you very, very high. I have to confess that Pope Francisco was graduate from chemical engineering from Buenos Aires University, and Xi Jinping, chairman of China, is graduate from Tsinghua University in chemical engineering. So I like to promote chemical engineering as a possible way to have a nice career.
Yes.
I'm not going to challenge. I'm another kind of engineer, an engineer as well. But I think you have mentioned something which is extremely important. We are speaking about maybe attracting the young talents, but the fact that you can arrive to the nuclear industry not necessarily through the canonical way of being scientists, graduated in physics, then you do the PhD, etc., etc. I think we can also try to cover the shortages in staff and in people dedicated to that, focus also to not only the young ones, but also engineers in other areas. Because I will speak a little bit about myself. I had the same question from my mother than Stefan. But that was in the middle of my career when I had to specialize in one area, and I chose nuclear. Oh, and the issue there is that you go the right way, and it was really not so much attractive at the time. The progress of the career was a lot slower, for example, than ICT. At those times there was not artificial intelligence, but the path was a lot slower. So there are many things to do to improve the attractiveness of the industry, not only the industry, also in the regulatory aspect, research, etc. So I think we can widen. Young talent is essential and fundamental, but let's not limit ourselves. Let's try to steal engineers from other areas that get interest into the nuclear, because at the end of the day we will all win.
And that's a great point. That's actually a fantastic point. And because what we learn in engineering in university yes, it's called chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, but what you're actually learning is problem solving. And here in the nuclear field, we've got a lot of problems that we need to solve. So engineers from anywhere are welcome. And even if you do start your career somewhere else, like Manuel said, you can end up here. You can end up here. And with the shortage of people in the nuclear field, I'm sure you'll be welcome with open arms. I'd also like to point out that Gary Bolton also was a chemical engineering graduate. But I have a question for, I know not on the panel, but it'd be interesting for the students in the back to hear from Steve Napier, who's actually been in the nuclear industry for over 50 years. And to talk about his experience of the nuclear field and how it's changed over time. Sorry to put you on the spot, Steve.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I started in the nuclear industry straight from school as a laboratory apprentice, chemistry. It was an analytical chemistry laboratory, and I worked in a fuel manufacturing plant at Springfields in Preston in the United Kingdom, where we manufactured Magnox fuel and AGR fuel for the UK Generation 1 and 2 reactors. And I've sort of progressed through my life in the nuclear industry a little bit by serendipity. I just happened to be in the sort of right place at the right time when an opportunity came along. And my advice would be for anybody is to take opportunities and grasp them when they come along. So I've sort of progressed from making fuel. I've actually stood on the reactor surface of a generation, a fast reactor, because fast reactors are never been around. They've been around for a long time, and at Dounreay in the UK and the Phoenix and Super Phoenix reactors in France were all fast reactors and were built back in the early 60s and some in the 50s, and as fast reactors in the US. But my experience has been there's lots of opportunities, there's lots of directions you can head in, and grasp those opportunities when they present themselves. I was just asked to go along to a meeting in Europe back in the 80s to deputise for my then boss. And it was an ESNI meeting, which is the European Sustainable Nuclear Industrial Initiative, which is effectively the fast reactor nuclear initiative for Euratom. And I sort of stayed with ESNI. It was part of a bigger group called the Sustainable Nuclear Energy Technology Platform. We merged a whole lot of supporting activities on Generation 2 and 3 reactors. I became the chairman of Nugenia, which was Generation 2 and 3 reactors. I ended up as leading the Sustainable Nuclear Energy, and these were all by serendipity. I just happened to be there when they needed somebody to do something and fill in. And that's been it, really. I've sort of serendipity-wise moved from one place to another, and now I sit on the expert group of the Generation IV International Forum. My background and history is in manufacturing fuel. And I keep telling, I'm a chemist, I'm not a physicist, and I keep telling everybody that these reactors won't actually work without fuel. But fuel is the one thing that we don't talk too much about, because you need a reactor before you need fuel. And in this day and age, nobody makes fuel until they've got an order off a reactor operator. So I've stood on top of reactors, I've stood on top of the Sellafield pile, not the one that caught fire, but the one that they were dismantling. I've been all over the world. It's a fascinating business. I've seen lots of things, I've spoken to lots of people, and I've made lots of friends over the 50 years I've been involved in the industry. This is my 51st year now. I started very young.
Thank you, Steve. And we're almost out of time here, so I'd like to hand over to Anju for any closing statements.
I don't want to say any statement, but I would like to answer your question. If I have a lot of money and if I be a queen, I really wanted to make a nuclear office in all the country. It's like Seoul, Gangnam, very expensive buildings, and in the US for the New York, very tall buildings. So, and then for the UK, the London, Czech in Prague, the most expensive area, and I want to make a nuclear tower. Then all the students will try to go to the nuclear area. So I really want to make that kind of, if I have a lot of money, I will have all the education and training working group meeting at that space. That's my answer. And I really wanted to, actually that is not a real world, but we have a lot of webinar. It is not a really expensive area. Please join us, and we will have a monthly webinar, so you can find the information from our site. So that's my last word. I really wanted to have this journey with you over here. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Anju. And thank you to our panelists for an excellent discussion. And thank you for everybody who's in the room and for your questions and for your Padlet questions as well. Thank you all.
So fucking special. I wish I was